Last night, you saw somebody who took the stage that appeared to me to be George Washington.
Many of these 9/11 truthers, who I've been telling you for years, are dangerous.
These truthers are exactly the kind of people who want to rock this nation's foundation, tear us apart.
Are one of the groups that I've been warning about for a very long time, are these 9/11 truthers.
This is the kind of group that a Timothy McVeigh would come from.
So Vladimir Lenin, he explained this principle very well himself because he used it. He said, the best way to control the opposition is to lead it ourselves. Setting up your own opposition so that way when people, he no doubt recognized that there would be people that opposed him, and so he would get ahead of it and start his own group that said, Stalin, Lenin is bad. And so that way anybody that opposed Lenin would A, be identified, and B, they would make sure that they were sent off on tracks that wouldn't actually do any damage to Lenin himself. So now we go into Glenn Beck as the next false opposition. Just some background, Glenn Beck in 2003, his company merged with Simon & Schuster and Viacom CBS. Then in 2006 and 2008, he had his own CNN, who's a corporate member of the Council on Foreign Relations program. 2008 to 2011, he had his own Fox, which is also a corporate member of the Council on Foreign Relations program. And then Glenn Beck promotes conspiracy outlets regularly by hosting the articles from the New Yorker, Washington Post, USA Today, and others, and even has people on his show that are members of the Council on Foreign Relations. And he also, just as a side note, spoke at the CPAC convention in 2019 and other years. So let's look at Glenn Beck actually in his own words. What does he say? So we can expose, people know his record. So let's look at what he says himself.
I think the bailout is the right thing to do. The $700 billion that you're hearing about now is not only, I believe, necessary, it is also not nearly enough.
Well, folks, we are getting new hints that President Obama may be increasingly open to the idea of a brand new national sales tax on everything you buy. They call it a VAT, a value-added tax.
But in the scheme of things, I think it's fair to look at a value-added tax.
Will Republicans hand the left a big VAT victory? The subtitle reads, Mitt Romney won't rule out the possibility of imposing a tax. Dan Mitchell of the Cato Institute joins us now.
You say that Americans should fight VAT to our last and dying breath.
Every candidate running for president should have to sign in blood that they will never allow this European tax system to destroy the America's fiscal future.
We can bring the country back. You have to have a national sales tax.
I actually agree with you. I want a 2% VAT. I want a 2% VAT. You probably heard that President Bush yesterday acknowledged for the very first time the existence of secret CIA prisons. Thank God. It's these types of things, the stuff we never usually hear about unless we read the New York Times, that actually makes me feel more secure. I want a Jack Bauer out there. I love seeing cops doing bag checks on subway stations. I love seeing cops doing bag checks on subway stations. What we're talking about is waterboarding, and whether or not you're morally in favor of waterboarding or not. It is a far cry from torture. And it's going to take somebody who sits in front of Congress who's not afraid of them anymore and does what Jack Bauer did, and that is, yes, I did torture, and I'm proud of it. I'm for the bailout bill. It is going to cause us great pain if we don't have it. He's reminded us over and over again that President Bush was in office when TARP bailout happened. Well, we were all against that. Well, he says, I'm going to get every penny back from those greedy bankers. And most people cheer, as I do. I didn't want them to get the money in the first place. Bush started the bailouts. Yes, he did. Hated him for it. I will always tell you the truth, even when it hurts me personally. Here's the problem. I mean, everybody will say, oh, that Glenn Beck, he's a conservative. He just loved the Bush administration. No, I didn't. I did say the same things about George W. Bush. I did complain about his out-of-control spending. I did complain about his abandoning free market principles to save the free market system. I did complain constantly. 11,687. That is the number the Dow Jones closed at yesterday. That number is the highest ever. Our budget deficit has actually shrunk by 22.3% since last year. The economy is in fine shape. These people. Two things here. This is why I like George W. Bush. This is why I like George W. Bush. President Bush is a man who personally feels the pain of every lost soldier.
Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere.
He feels the pain of every wounded hero, every lonely, grieving parent this war has caused.
Nope, no weapons over there.
But above all, I can tell you that the president has incredible passion and resolve.
Maybe under here.
Any of these 9/11 truthers who I've been telling you for years are dangerous.
These truthers are exactly the kind of people who want to rock this nation's foundation, tear us apart, are one of the groups that I've been warning about for a very long time, of these 9/11 truthers. This is the kind of group that a Timothy McVeigh would come from.
Senator Santorum voted for the Patriot Act, for an expansion of Medicare, and for raising the debt ceiling by trillions of dollars.
Senator Rick Santorum from Pennsylvania may just be the Winston Churchill of our day.
One of the criticisms I make is to what I refer to as more of a libertarianish right.
The libertarian view is, isolationist from a national security point of view.
I don't pick or choose or back any presidential nominees.
I am throwing my support behind Rick Santorum now. Please win, Rick. Please.
Rick, we're begging. I came on your radio show, and you said, now, I said, I'm going to ask you 30 questions, but I gave answers to all 30, and then you finished. And then you finally said, I want to kiss you in the mouth. That's what you said.
Santorum once held his nose and voted to fund abortions, and Romney once openly and gleefully endorsed them.
I believe that abortion should be safe and legal in this country.
And I think this is the guy, this is the mechanic that can fix our finances. He's the guy who can fix the engine of our economy. I believe that with everything in me.
If it's between Obama and Romney, there isn't all that much difference.
The defense he makes of Romneycare could basically be a defense of Obamacare.
And I welcome you to the first of the 2012 presidential debates.
And the best course for health care is to do what we did in my state.
Last night, you saw somebody who took the stage that appeared to me to be George Washington.
Mitt Romney is obviously the choice of the Republican establishment.
He is not a politician. He is a man that I would strive to be like.
Those are the folks who brought us TARP and stimulus, wars fought on credit cards, federal agents writing their own search warrants, and the federal government taking over education.
In 2 weeks' time, America goes to vote for the next president of the United States.
Mitt Romney believes in all these things, but here's the crusher. So does President Obama. There's not a dime's worth of difference.
The American people have a very, very clear choice.
Mitt Romney might as well be Barack Obama on everything from warfare to welfare.
If you want a reason to vote for Mitt Romney, here it is. He knows what's going on with the Federal Reserve, and he is warning us.
Should the chairman of the Federal Reserve be appointed again? I think he's doing a good job. I
am going to vote for this guy.
Look, I'm not going to spend my time going after Ben Bernanke. I'm not going to take my effort and focus on the federal.
I sincerely hope that we are not at a place as Americans to where we are going to let the Democrats jam down the Green New Deal because we're at home panicked. I want to have a frank conversation with you and ask you where you stand. I'm in the danger zone. I'm right at the edge. I'm 56. In Italy, they're saying if you're sick and you're 60, don't even come in. So I'm in the danger zone. Now, the German people, they got this. Now, if you're handed that hat and it's got the skull and crossbones on it, don't you look at it and go, and on a second thought, I might be on the wrong side. Doesn't that just scream wrong side? Wrong side?
He is seen by so many as such a conservative or, a hero for liberty, to show his back and forth, his lies, his support for people that were clearly and obviously being called out at the time. It wasn't like, nobody knew. It was obvious. There was lots of people calling out Rick Santorum and Mitt Romney for those things. And then, he supported Bush. He supported the bailouts. And then afterwards, when it became unpopular and it was already too late, He says, oh, I was always against Bush and the bailouts. And so he's being deceptive, and he is pushing the official narrative. And so that way everybody's saying, well, Glenn Beck, he researches this stuff and he's liberty-minded. He wouldn't be backing this if there wasn't something to it. And that's the role that he plays. And so it's essential that we understand this principle of false opposition.